Okay, so so Carly, can I ask what prompted you to sign up for a demo?
I'm sorry, 1 second. I'm so sorry. What was that?
Um, what um, what what motivated you to sign up for a demo with us today?
Um, you know, we're really trying to move forward with technology and
Yeah,
getting the parents. Sometimes getting the parents to on the same board is a little challenging for us because um, I don't know. Some parents really like that kind of old school style of paper and all that.
yeah,
Um, but we're really trying to make that transition.
yeah,
We use MailChimp to get out all of our meetings and information and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um, but we would like to use a lot less paper. We have so much paper when it comes to instant reports,
yeah,
um, weekly reports, wellness checks, all of that. So
yeah.
kind of limit
Great.
that.
Yeah. So very cool. And what role do you play there at the school? Not play, but
And
what do you do?
I'm the administrative assistant here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Are you kind of in charge of reviewing some different options and kind of reporting back?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you mind me asking, like, what other systems you've looked at?
We have looked at my child. I did a demo with my child,
Hmm.
and that's it for right now.
Okay. Cool. And so if you were to see like Hubbli and be like, this is amazing, we want this. What's the decision making process and timeline, do you think?
For us right now, it it's budget. We just switched to an organic policy, um, so we had to increase tuition,
Hmm.
and we're not really wanting to increase tuition again so quickly. But
Yeah.
by the new year, we're willing to do that.
Okay. So
So
let me ask you, if like I'm assuming that one of the challenges with paper, well, how many kids do you have?
enrolled,
Yeah.
I think we have like I can't remember. I think it's around 60.
60. Okay, so you're a smaller school. Um, so we do have schools that are actually even a lot smaller. We even have schools that have only 20 kids actually that are using Hubbli.
Wow.
But most of our schools are usually, around 100, and then some of them are upwards of 1,000. Like it really doesn't matter because, everyone's doing the same things. It's just it comes down to like the amount, with more
Right.
with more. So so one I guess one question I have is like, um, if you were to have a system that allowed you to go like basically totally paperless and made it really easy, and gave the parents like a user friendly, easy system to get the information, um, like how valuable would that be for you guys?
It would be really valuable. We go through a lot of paper
Yeah,
and with packets and um, just forms that parents have to sign and all of that.
yeah.
Daily reports, and then ink. We just got a new printer and we cannot figure out how to make it use less ink.
The ink
So
is
we're
where they
going,
catch you.
yeah. So the
The ink is
ink
where they
is
get you.
it really is like
Yeah.
it's like we just got a new printer and I can't figure out for the life of me how to make it use less ink. But it's
Good
yeah,
luck.
we get it like once a week. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So can I ask, like, how much are you spending on paper and ink a
Mm,
month?
you know what? Tammy does the finances. She's the director.
Yeah. Yeah.
So um, I know per month. Let me see. I'm not sure about the paper. Um, but in ink alone, let's see. It's about $240 a month, so it's
Okay.
a big
So
deal
so check it
value.
out. So if you were to go paperless and not have to use the paper and the ink anymore, and the
Right.
system costs less than the paper and the ink, do you think you guys could make a decision like in the near future, knowing that you actually would be saving money right off the bat?
Yeah, definitely. I think that Tammy would be really pleased to decrease that number.
Yeah, that's the reality with Hubbli. So I'm going to start showing you how we do that, but that is what we do for schools, and probably we have a lot of great features that a lot of people like, but I would say the most important one for, especially for people in your position is getting away from the piles and piles of paper, just shifting piles of paper around and organizing paper and paper, paper, paper. And
Yeah.
it's expensive and it's super time consuming. So let me get into it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a quick overview of all the main features, just so you know all the things we do, and then I'm going to go into them, individually, so that you get more familiar. So the main thing we give, like it starts off, um, is you get a private social network. So we could call it a parent portal, but it's like Parent Portal 2.0 in that it's like your own little Facebook, and that's just kind of like the starting point. So that's kind of the framework that we built everything inside of. So what that means is you've got groups. So schools make groups for like different rooms and age levels and stuff like that. So communicating with specific groups of parents or staff is like super easy. It's all automatic, and you don't ever have to really manage communication to groups. It just happens automatically because the system's set up that way. The other thing we have is our digital forms. So like we create any type of form, whether it's a form that a parent fills out or it's a form that a teacher fills out, whether it's a scope and sequence form or a permission form or an enrollment or application form. All that stuff is totally digital, and it's all the data, all the entries of those forms are all organized for you, so you can search with a nice search field and look things up in 2 seconds rather than thumbing through piles of paper. Um, we also have calendars. So everything is all the different groups have their own calendars, and everything is synchronized into a main calendar. And you and parents can subscribe to those calendars so that they can actually automatically uh, synchronize with your personal calendar, like on Google, on your Gmail, or on your Apple iPhone or anything like that. Um, but it filters everything out too, so parents only see what they need to see from their group membership as opposed to like seeing everything, right? Um, and then we also have appointment man. If you have, you know, parent-teacher conferences or observations, all that stuff can be managed automatically. So, it just takes scheduling automation, just makes it really simple. Again, getting away from paper and also getting away from having to manage it. Like you just set it up one time, and then the system goes. Like you don't have, it sends out reminders on its own. Parents can come and pick a session on their own, and whatever's still available, and whoever needs to be notified is notified, and they know when to show up where. Um, and then student information. So you can create pages for uh, children that are shared privately with the parents of that child. So here's my daughter's page. We've got her parents here, and these are her teachers, and all the forms that are entered for that child show up on this page for the parents to see. So this is like, again, all this stuff is happening automatically without you having to move data to this page. It goes there on its own. So it's all set up for you. There's an initial setup, and then you don't have to think about it again. And by the way, we do most of the setup for you. So we're a service as much as we are a technology company. So we make it really, really easy for you to get set up and start. And we also train you on how to manage all this stuff.
That's
So
great.
yeah, so those are the main features. The first one I'm going to go into, because you mentioned the paperwork, is I'm going to go into a form feature. I'm going to show you how great these forms are. Now we have a long list of forms here, and so I'm just going to go down to one that's a bit more of a longer form, like a parent packet, right? Like an
Yeah.
enrollment type form. So, parents can fill this out on any device, and I'll just zoom out a little bit. So I'm just going to fill this form out really quickly. But I could be doing this on my iPhone, on my tablet, or on my desktop computer. It doesn't matter. I'll just pan through this. I'm filling it out the form, and hey, I'm enrolling 2 kids this year. So I hit 2, and 2 showed up. And I just want to also mention, this is just an example. These forms can have any information, collect any information you need. So like you just send us your existing forms, and we'll turn them into digital forms for you. But it's really easy to do it yourself. We just, we want to get you started. We want to get you hitting the ground running. So we'll do it for you initially. We also show you how to do it. It's an easy drag and drop form builder. It's really easy to use. So I'm just going to pan through this, filling this out. Uh, Standard questions. This is actually a parent packet from one of our Montessori school customers. So this is real life stuff that we've reused. I'm just pounding through this here. So we're going to the next page. This used to be a separate form, right? They used to print this off. They had like 5 forms, right? And they would put it in an envelope and they would mail it out to the parents. It was very expensive, right? All that paper, all that printing, all that postage, and then the time of getting it from the parents, organizing the information in paper, and then trying to figure out how to manage that information going forward.
Yeah.
It's just so much time. It's crazy. So I'm just filling this out. Oh, it asked me for. It told me actually I filled this out wrong because.
I do have a quick question about this form. We require a physician's report. So is there a way to get all of that paperless as well?
Absolutely. So you can actually create the physician's report here as well, and the parent, if they want to, they could like take their phone and bring it to the physician, and they can fill it out on their phone or their iPad, or if they need to get something physical, like they can actually like scan it and upload it. You can have like a file upload here, so it attaches to the form. So there's a lot of ways of dealing with it, but you could have multiple signatures on the form, and the form could be filled out at different points in time, and then everybody. So we'll get into that, but I have examples of that for sure. So here we are, parent packet. This is like this used to be the second form in the packet, but if you notice, we don't need to ask the parents for their name again or to get their address information or their child's name, which used to be for every separate form, the parents were filling out the same information over and over again. And if your parents if you have parents that are like I guess a little bit afraid of technology, when they find out that they don't have to handwrite their name and their address and children's name 10 times in a row and manage piles of paper, they start to like it because it's so easy. And so anyways, so they had some this school had some, parent committee options that they wanted the parents to sign up for. Going to go to the next page. The next page is this was a separate milk form. So again, we've just added it to this one form where we got a nice status bar at the top telling us how far along we are. The forms handle payments as well. So you can actually, they can pay with credit card if they want to through the form. And then here's, the standard photo release permission. I'm going to say, yes, you can use my child for your website. Just standard questions, of course. And here's some bus school route information that, again, we just got this from one of our customers. I'll show you another shorter form. This is just another example of what you can do. This is a permission form for a field trip. So I'll go down to this one here, permission form. So parents can just whip this. Here, I'll just fill this out properly. Landon, my daughter's name. I'm already logged in, so it can collect your information. If you're a user in the system and you're already logged in, it can just actually pre-populate a lot of this stuff. Here, I'll do a digital signature. This works on any device. So I could have done this with my finger on an iPad or on my phone. And this handles payments too. So, I've got 2 kids going on the trip. That makes the total $40 because it's $20 times 2. And I can enter my credit card information. Oops, I probably shouldn't share that. Especially if I'm recording it. So here, I'll go ahead and submit this. and yeah, so I just fill out the form. Now, you're going to get if you were the admin, um, I'm going to show you where this data goes, but it's going to be organized for you in your administrative dashboard where you can go in and search through everything. But you also get notifications. You can set up notifications however you like. But here's an example. Um, like where this is the one I just filled out. So I'm the admin of the site. So it says Hubbli demo site and new submission from the ROM permission form. So that information is right here for me. So
Right.
so let's say I'm the teacher or the parent, and like as an example, have you ever had a field trip? Like you guys do field trips?
Yeah, not very often, but yes.
Oh, okay. So one thing we hear from a lot of schools, when they go on a field trip, somebody always forgets a form.
Right.
So I don't know if that's a scenario you've had, but mom
Yeah,
or
it's
dad
like
could just
yeah.
yeah, they could just whip out their phone wherever they are and fill out the form, and you get it in your email. You know it's in, it's paid for, all that stuff. So just really easy to do. But so that's just one way of tracking it. And then what you also might want to do is use this as oh, I went to the wrong page. Use this as you could do your documentations on this. It's not just parent forms. It can also be student, child documentations like scope and sequence. So we've got Montessori schools that are. This is just an example again we took from one of our school customers. Um, you can go in, you can select. Let's say you're a teacher. You can connect. You create students in the system, and then you connect teachers and parents to them. So if I'm a teacher, like this would just show me the students that I'm connected to. So I could select a student, or I could select all of them at once, and or deselect them, and then I can do my scope and sequence, for that one student. And this all gets sent to the parent automatically. Everything goes to the student's page. So it's a really easy way of doing like a lot of different documentations that used to require a lot of paper and a lot of time is now happening on an iPhone really easily. Like we're on
Wow.
an iPhone now, right? So like teachers and parents can whip out any device they want and do their scope and sequence or other types of documentations. And if I selected coordination. If I deselect that one and hit caring, now caring shows up. Now I'm going to do the caring section. So this is all pretty big. So we could actually add this to your site if you wanted to, right? And this can be edited and updated, and yeah, it's really a great system. Saves you a lot of time. Um, you know, just entering it in is really simple. But the most important thing is actually looking up the information. That's what you don't want to do with paper, especially. You want
Right.
to find information. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the the administrative dashboard. This is where like you have generally just the admin staff goes back here. But this is where all the, you've got control over all the different features, all right, about their settings and everything. But this is also where the forms are. So if we go into the forms section, this is like your digital filing cabinet, basically, right? So here are all those forms. Those are all those orange buttons that we saw for forms. They're all listed here. And this is where you go to create the form and change the form or rename it, or update the settings. But if we take a look at that parent packet, let's see here. Parent packet. There it is. Okay, so that first one that enrollment form I filled out, the parent packet. So if I look at entries, there's currently 127 entries there. So now basically what happens is as the form gets filled out, it gets organized for you into a spreadsheet format. So here are all the entries that came in. They're automatically date and time stamped. And you got these columns here. If you click on any of these columns, it'll sort, just like using Excel, really. And then you can also like drag in other column headers if you want. You can rename, configure this to show whatever. I don't need that one. I just need one. That type of thing. And then you save that, and it'll change the actual display of information here. So it's totally customizable. And then let's say you want to look something up, like you want to look up an enrollment form of one of the children. So I'm just going to click on Landon. We fill this in a lot, so we'll probably have a lot of Landons in here because that's my last name. So you can see like this would probably be like 2 or 3 at the most, usually for one family name. But um, so now you got a list of these kids with the last name Landon. But let's say we want to look up something that's more time consuming in by using paper. So let's say we want to see all the kids that we're allowed to use their photo for. So we have that question on the form: Can we use your child's photo in advertising? And let's say I want to see all the children where the parents said no. So I could just filter by that and select no and hit search. And then in a few seconds, we've got a filtered list of all the children we're not allowed to use. You have to excuse, we just kind of pan through the keys for the demo purposes. So this is gibberish inside these fields, but like these would be like actual names, whatever
Yeah.
data you're collecting. So this would just take a couple seconds, and then if you want, you could just print them all off. You can hit print, or you can also export them too, right? You can go so one other thing I didn't show you is that you can go into an actual. So now we're actually, I'm actually pulling. It's like pulling out the actual piece of paper. So here are all the entries from this one child's enrollment form, and I can update this if I need to. I can edit it and update it, and I can so I could send this off to a parent or to another staff member. Or I can print off this individual form right there. So really easy to do. And then if I wanted to as well, you could draw a report. So let's say I want to export, a subset, either a subset or all of those forms, right? So I could just go to export entries, and I would select the form I want to export. Like again, we'll just pick the same form, the parent packet. This is now going to pull in a list of all the different fields in that parent packet, and this will allow me to. I can either select all of them, or I can like say, you know what, I just need the parent's first name and I need the child's name, and that's it. And then so you could add a conditional to it if you want to get really specific, and then you can even select between this date, entries from this date and that date, so all from the month of October, and then hit download, and you'll actually get an Excel file. So just a really simple way of exporting and creating reports from all that data. And that works with any of the forms. So I just want to ask you, like, what do you see that this would this save you a lot of time and paper?
It's the same as a tremendous amount of time. The only thing that I have a question about is it legitimate with licensing?
Is it what?
Legitimate for licensing. Like when licensing comes in, they want to check kids' files and just
Yeah. So we have all of our schools have those same requirements, right? So like so what they do, so depending on the state you're in, some of them are yes, like they just want to see that you have this data. But some of them want you to actually have a hard copy, right? So in that case, all you have to do is when all the forms are in, you just hit select all here, right?
Yeah.
And you print them all off.
That's
nice. So if you need to print them off, you can, but of course that's you only have to do that for certain forms now, right? So that's still a heck of a lot less printing, but what you don't want to have to do is look up in the paper. So like you might have to print off certain forms and just have a box somewhere, like just when they come in. And some of our schools do need to do that depending on the state that they're in. But still, they're not printing off all the other millions of forms that the state doesn't need to see. And as well, when they need to look something up, they don't have to go to that paper. They can just go in here and hit search. So it's just saves everyone a heck of a lot of time. Yeah. So and it can handle any form, anything you do on paper right now, form-wise or documentation-wise, this system can handle. So there's nothing it can't do. And if there is something it can't do, I'd be happy to offer you a refund. I don't think you'll find it. I'm willing to make that guarantee. Um, so that is the forms. Another thing you can do with the forms, uh, I think I showed this to you, but there's a student page. You can create student pages here. So you know, all of your children would have a page, so you'd have like 60 some odd pages, and then you connect the teachers and the parents to each. Now these are shared privately, so only these people here and you as the admin can access this page. Okay. So all the forms, so any form that you want to use as tracking can send the entries instead of just in the back where we just were. It'll send that specific child's entries like to this page for the parents to see. So like the scope and sequence, right? They can come here and they can preview that entry. So here's that form. And they can see and they can print this off at home if they want to. But this can also be sent to their email. So as long as you're connecting the child to the parent, you can have it send these documentations or reports to the parent's email automatically when they're submitted. You don't have to all you have to do is fill out the form. It's really easy to do, and that's all you have to do, and then you're done. You or the teachers for those specific children. So we have daily snacking logs, things like that. Anything. Like schools are using this for anything and everything. So those are the digital forms. Now we have. How do you manage if you need to send a notification or information to a specific group of parents of maybe an age level or a classroom? How do you currently do that?
Well, when it comes to we don't really normally have to do that. When we have to send out a mass message, we use MailChimp. But for instance, we're having the parent conferences only for the kids who will be going to kindergarten next year.
Yeah.
And with that, we did have to print out a form and a conference sign-up sheet where the parents did have to sign up on paper. And then we have a bunch of handouts that have all of the information on it that we go over during the meeting, which could also be emailed to that group of parents, but we don't have that on MailChimp. I know we can make a separate group, but it's kind of a pain to re-enter all of their information again. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You just said it right there. So it's kind of a pain to manage groups on any system, right? Especially, so here's the thing. Hubbli makes that group management completely automated.
Okay.
So you create your users, so you create groups for your different classes, and when you create your users, like your parents, you just put them in whatever groups. You just select whatever groups are, and then communicating with any group is incredibly simple. So I'm going to go into this one class 104, right? So let's say I'm a teacher, and I want to send a notice, or I want to send a picture or send a document to the parents of my class. So I can just go in here, and I can say, hey, please check this out, right? And I can go here and I can update and I can select a document or a picture or any kind of file. I'll just go to, let's see here. Is there something I can grab quickly? Well, I'll just grab anything. I'll just grab this picture here. So I send that picture, right? So now, that goes out as an email to those parents, and it can also go out as a text message. If I check that box and I post that.
And as long as their cell phones are in it, it'll go to their messages.
Yeah, so they have to have their cell phone in their profile, and if they do, then they can get that notification. Also, but it'll go to their email, but it can also go to their SMS text message if they so choose. And so I just got I just got the email myself. So here, I got the update. This is the email I got from Hubbli demo site. Hubbli support posted an update in the group class 104. Hey, so this is what I posted. Hey, please check this out. And then if I want to view it, I would click on that link, and it would take me in right into that group, like right into that message. So it's it you know it so you can write as long of a message as you want in there, and format it however you like, but it's shows up here. So as an example, like let's say there's something happening, like Nan was the teacher. Hey, please remember today's a field trip, and we need everyone to wear hats. So they can, parents can then, if you want, you can allow parents to comment and ask follow-up questions. So then Naomi can
Right.
answer it. And then everybody's seeing it, and she doesn't have to like communicate separately with everybody because it's all right here. And like she can, she shared a document here, right? So, oops, that media is not there anymore. But you can see like if she uploaded a document, it would be there. They could click on it and see it, or download it. So it's just, as an example, like we've got, classroom groups where like the teacher says wants to let the parents know like this happened, today, like or last night, lice reports, like hey, everyone found out that one of our children has lice. Please have your child checked.
Yeah.
Things like that, just like in the moment, and it's just going to that specific class. Or schools also create groups for the whole school too. So like if you need to send a quick message out to everybody. So these groups are really good for like sort of in the moment updates, right? We have a whole email newsletter feature I'll show you in a second, like MailChimp, where you can design a nice, it's easy to design a nice looking email. I'll show that to you in a second, just so that you can see that anything you do in MailChimp you can do here inside Hubbli as well. But this makes the group communication dead simple. Like you just don't even have to think about it. Also, events. We've got full event management, so you can create. Each group has its own calendar. So, like, just if there's something that's specific to that class or that age level, you can add it. You can create an event in here. Um, and then if there's also a main calendar that synchronizes with all those groups. So all the group stuff comes in here. But the cool thing is that it filters out events that don't pertain to the user. So if a parent comes in and they only have one child in one group, they don't need to see the events from other groups, right?
Right.
And then this subscribe in the Google Calendar button, this allows them to actually synchronize this. Any events that connect to them will be automatically sent to their iPhone or their Google Calendar.
That's really cool.
Yeah. A couple other features. We have a I don't know if you guys do fundraisers. A lot of Montessori's don't, but a lot do. So you can actually create fundraising pages. You have like some campaigns.
Yeah, we have one per year.
Yeah, so you can actually use this as a page to collect donations and share. And then I'll show you the newsletter feature because it's really amazing. So if you we're going to go back to the dashboard. The newsletters are managed back here. So we'll just take out newsletters. So you can actually create a really beautiful newsletter. We give you a bunch of templates to work from. So I'll just go into an example one here. So this is just an example one, but this is like you can select from different templates to start from here. So you pick whichever one you like, and then once you send one out, you can keep on using that same edited template as a starting point. So if I go to, let's see, if I go down to content, it's really easy just to you got a little designer here, and you can format the content. You can actually use like merge fields too, like hi, first name, so you can really personalize it, which is nice. It's it's really easy to play with the colors as well. Let's say you want to change the background color. You just make it blue. You can adjust it if you like that, softer blue, whatever you like. Oh,
that's really
brutal.
cool. That's like the same thing.
Yeah, it's very similar to Mailchimp. So you can do a lot of things. So our like the reason why, like, basically what you're going to see in Hubbli is, like, we're copying like a bunch of well-known tools, right? Um, because what we learned was schools are trying to, like, people that run schools aren't necessarily that tech savvy, and they try to sort of make a patchwork of different communication tools. But what
Right.
we saw was that they're really kind of like duplicating and triplicating their efforts, and they, like, for you to like use Mailchimp and use Paper and do this and do that, like, you end up managing all these different tools, and that itself becomes a problem, right? So with Hubbli, you've got one database, and it actually updates itself, because when the parents fill in an enrollment form or a re-enrollment form, their new contact information updates into their profile, and they can also go into their profile and update their contact information anytime if they get a new email address. But now you've got anything you can do on Mailchimp, you can do right here, but you don't have to manage a separate database.
Exactly.
So we're saving a ton of time just by doing that alone. But we'll get all that paper out of your life, get those printing costs and those ink costs out, as well.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you, like, do you see this as something that you'd like to use at your school?
Yeah, I do. I am gonna have to go over it with Tammy, the director, but when we break it down, money wise, how much we're paying versus how much we would be paying with Hubbli, I think that we'll be able to do it.
Yeah. So let me. So there's another feature I want to. I don't know if what they currently do with invoices, but we actually have. So our forms can take payments, like, they can process payments. So we have schools like using forms for portrait orders and yearbook orders and stuff like that, and then they just they handle processing, and that's good for like one-time purchases like that. But also, we have schools. One of our newer features, it was requested by a lot of schools, was like an actual account management for like tuition and stuff. So we actually have these account pages now where parents can actually you can create an account page for the parent, like the landed family invoice here. So all the different tuitions from different childs, or different payments that they you know are adding to their account, can be paid here, and all the history of payments is here too. So it's just a really nice account page, and they can pay the invoice. Either you can have it recurring monthly, or it can be paid, in installments or at one time. It's all up to you how you want to set it up. And they can even print it off, so they'll actually have like a PDF invoice right there. Um, and but it'll also just it'll send automated reminders and notifications to the parents as well.
It's really nice. So, um, how do we get the money in our account if a parent enters in their debit card information?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. It broke up a bit.
So, let's say a parent wants to pay online and they
Yeah.
want to just put in their card information.
Yeah.
We've never had that option. So would we just, like, when we're signing up, would we just enter in our account number, Tammy's account number, and then when they submit their tuition, it would go straight to her account?
Oh, so we would connect you. You can choose what type of payment processor you want to use for that. So
Okay.
you have almost endless options basically. But like, it could go into a PayPal account. You could use something called Stripe, which puts the transaction right into your bank account. Authorized.net. You need to like get another service that does the processing, and then we just connect it to your. And so
Okay.
it's just like we can walk you through that. It's really simple.
Okay.
So like, you're not going to be left alone to figure that out. We'll give you our suggestions, and we'll let you know what your options are. but it's really simple to do. And then they can just come here and then they just pay the invoice and fill out the credit card information,
Awesome.
depending that you create. Or by the way, if you use check right now, you can also just they don't have to pay by credit card. They could just pay by check, and then you actually just track the check here. They still see this, they still get this, and then they come and bring you a check. So you actually don't need to use credit card processing at all to get value out of this, because they bring you the check, and then you just go into their invoice, um, and mark it off.
Okay, awesome.
And then it also gets tracked here. So their balance will be updated because you marked off that you got the check and all that stuff. So it's just it doesn't have to be credit card processing. That's just an option because it's all digital. So these are the monthly subscription options for pricing. So we start off at $149 per month, and as you know, I asked you how much you spend on paper and printing and stuff like that. Like that itself is fairly low comparatively. Um,
Yeah.
and then so we've got basically these different packages all come with more and more features. Okay, so $199 a month. If you want that invoicing feature that I just showed you, like if that's something the school like really wanted,
Yeah.
then that's an upgrade to $249 per month.
Okay.
So again, get still probably less than what you're spending on paper and
It is. Yeah.
Then we have another option which I didn't really get into with you. Some schools use Hubbli as you have an option to use Hubbli as your website. So a lot of our customers decide that they actually want to use their Hubbli site as their website. So it actually, we do a whole, it's just a lot more service, and so I'll just show you an example here. This is a school, it's a Montessori school in Palo Alto, San Francisco, who is using Hubbli as their site. So now I'm going to log out, and you're going to see how I'm currently logged in, so I can see that there's students and groups and parents, right?
Right.
Along with all their regular website information. So this is very much like written for prospective families, right? If I log out, I'm going to go back to the website now. See how that the groups and the students and the parents, that's gone now?
Yeah.
So this becomes a website, a regular website, but it also has a login sort of pass. Everything that I just showed you is not available to the public, but all this stuff is. So
Right.
it can do both. It can be your website and it can be your parent at the same time. So again, when I log in, I'm now going to see more options here. So this is a very customized, design. It's got a slider, and it's a full functioning website. And we do search engine optimization. So if you are trying to grow enrollment, we'll make sure that you get found on search engines like Google and Bing and stuff, and get new prospective families.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's a substantial price increase, because we're being we add the additional service of full customized website management with search engine optimization. So it really is more, it becomes your internal communication tool, but also your marketing tool as well. So to help you boost enrollment and stuff. So it is a lot more work on our end, but there's a ton more value because we actually really affect your bottom line that way. We don't just save you money and time, we actually make you money at that point. So it really is a lot more value. So there's another fee. It's a one-time setup. So when it sounds like someone's got a mean cough.
Yeah, my little one, he's getting over a little bug.
Oh, my daughter's 1 and she just had her first stomach flu. So
Oh no.
yeah, I got a lot of vomiting on me.
Oh,
It's really interesting. Like I never knew that when your child vomited on you, you're like happy that they're vomiting because you want them to throw up. right?
Yeah, I know.
So
Isn't that a weird thing? But and you feel so bad, you just like want to take care of it for them. And you're just like, oh,
yeah. Yeah, you're just like, it's okay, sweetie, just throw up all over me. Really, get it out. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know. It's so
Like,
funny.
I didn't, it didn't try to run away. It just, anyways.
Yep.
So, yeah. Anyway, sorry to hear that. I hope he's feeling better.
Cool. Thank you.
So, so what was I gonna say? So these three packages, because these are kind of in a separate category, because it's just the features. Um, it's just adding new features to the same type of site. Um, they have a setup fee. It's a one-time setup fee, and the way it works is you literally just send us all your information, and we get it all set up for you. So like you throw us your database, like just you email us your database, and you send us all your forms, and we will make your forms. Um, at the same time, we're going to train you on how to use the system. We don't want you to have to figure it out while you set it up. Like we'll set it up for you and then train you on the system so that
Right.
you can like hit the ground running. So we've just learned that that's what our schools need, especially smaller schools that don't have a big staff. It really does make a difference, and so it's a lot of work on our end as well. So we charge $24.99 for that. It's a one-time fee though, so you don't have to like pay that ever again, and then you're
Right.
locked in. You're locked into these prices. Um, we will likely be increasing these prices because we're going to have a lot of new updates coming out. But when you sign up, you you're in you when you sign up at the point whatever the price is at the point that you sign up, that's your price ongoing. So as long as you don't cancel, and you can cancel anytime, but as long as you don't cancel your account, you are locked in at that price. So if you get the essentials package at 149 or the student information at 199, if like next year, we bump this one up to 249 because we add some new features to it, um, then you're not gonna be bumped up in price. Your price is locked.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, so what are your thoughts? Do you think that these prices and what this does? Do you think these are all in the ballpark for you guys to go forward with this?
Yeah, I think that we'd go with the complete, and we'd still be saving a lot of money. So that's
Yeah.
nice.
Okay. And so, like from your perspective, what are the main benefits you see from this system?
Um, I definitely think that um, it will be popular with the parents who have iPhones. Um, it'll be easier for them to stay in contact and stuff, and it will limit. We have like this kind of makeshift office thing
Yeah.
in the main classroom with it's just a large filing cabinet that takes up quite a bit of space,
Okay.
and we basically have all of the kids' information in there. And the other thing is, all of our files that are on our computer, if we don't have the right um, the right kind of backup, that can possibly be deleted. So if we had this site, everything would be in one place, and you can log in at any time. There's no need for all that storage and all those files on your computer too, which is also nice.
That's
So
right.
I think that that's really beneficial too. Like we had a scare, I think it was last last month, um, where we couldn't find the Children's Academy file that had everything in it. Like
Ah.
we couldn't find it anywhere, and we ended up finding it in the recent, but
Yeah.
it still isn't. We still can't find it in the regular file, so that's a scary thing. We duplicated the entire file just in case, but it'd be really nice to be able to just log in wherever you are and have access to all of those files. So I think that
Yeah.
Hubbli would be really beneficial.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? I never actually thought about that. In a way, I have, but like just the fact that you don't have to worry about managing the information. Like we'll do it. Like the system does it for you. Um,
Yeah.
you're not going to lose it. And
Right.
even if you did buy some weird, like, I mean, it would be pretty difficult for you to go in and actually delete a whole bunch of stuff. Like
Right.
we've got like we've got backups of everything all the time. Like we could just replace it for you, from a backup. So
Yeah.
your data is safe and you're very very secure. Like you've got the gold standard of security on your Hubbli sites. Um, and yeah, so cool. So what would be a timeline for you guys to make a decision?
I have to sit down with Tammy and talk to her, and it will take a little bit to kind of um, look at our finances and stuff. But since we did just buy more ink and we're already running low and stuff, I think that this will probably a really great time to talk to her about it. Um, but definitely follow up with us if we don't get back to you by this time next month.
So this is what I'd like to do, and I appreciate that you're somewhat busy. I want to suggest a couple things. Um, we're going to be pushing out these updates. We don't have a firm deadline, but I would probably going to be within the next month. And when we do that, we do have to adjust our pricing.
Right.
So this is what I would suggest. And I'll only suggest this because you guys are price conscious. Um,
Right.
if if you can make a decision, if you can like come up with a decision by the end of next week,
Yeah.
I will reduce the setup fee by $500, and that will also ensure that you get locked in at the current pricing.
Okay. Um, Sounds good. Yeah, just
I'll send all
yeah,
this
if
to
you
you.
want to, yeah, that's perfect.
So I'm going to send you the recording as well, so you'll be able to go over this and show. Is it Tammy?
Okay.
Okay, so I'll send that to you, and thank you very much for taking this time to check out Hubbli, and we'll be in touch next
You're
week.
welcome. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Oh.